Today is going to be Vivarium Maintenance Day. You can see my fish right here. Okay, so first thing I want to tell you is if you're going to do this, do not use duckweed. And let me show you what duckweed is. Let me move this and we're going to get this over here. Now, she shouldn't bolt on me. She's never bolted on me before. She has. I scared her yesterday and she jumped almost into the pond, but she bounced off my hand. I accidentally touched her, and she freaked, and she bounced off my hand and back onto the rocks. Okay, these little tiny plants you see in the pond here. This, these little things are duckweed, right here. I thought these fish would eat the duckweed. Goldfish will eat duckweed, but you don't want to put goldfish in a 5-gallon pond. They will get too big for it. Now, the reason you don't want to use duckweed, I'm going to show you in a moment. In this room is our isolation tank, and this is what duckweed does. It will literally take over the bottom and block out the light. Now, over here on this 60-gallon, it was covered with duckweed. Now, the reason the water is brown is called tanning. The tanning is coming from the substrate we use under the gravel. We use organic potting soil, and it turned the water brown. So we got to rethink that. I'm not sure. This is my wife's tank, by the way. And it's a 60-gallon. She has a bunch of fish, bunch of plants, all kinds of things. There's frogs in there, you name it. Now back to the vivarium. Now I would never ever recommend you walk out of the room and leave your tarantula where it could actually get out. But me and her we have an understanding. I've had her for about 2 years, going into the third year now, and we get along real fine. She doesn't bolt on me. She doesn't try to bite me, and in return, I don't handle her. She doesn't like being handled. So as long as I don't handle her, she is fine with me doing whatever. She get a little antsy if you touch her sometimes, but other than that, she's very, very tolerant. She doesn't kick hairs and all that stuff. Back to the maintenance. Okay, so here is the entrance to her lair right here. And these are sweet potatoes. I'm taking those out because they're dried. Now with dubias, because I raised dubias in here as well. And I think there's around about 20, 30, 40 dubia in here. Dubia, if given a chance, will either live in cardboard, which I have dubia here, living in this little castle, or most of the dubia, if you give them substrate, will tunnel under it. And they feed on things like this. They feed on the leaves, the roots. So in order to hunt, a lot of times she'll tunnel underground and she'll hunt dubia that's actually under the ground. But I put food that they'll eat right here by her lair, so they have to come to her lair in order to eat, and then she can grab them. So now we're going to use carrots, because you can feed dubia carrots, you can feed them sweet potatoes, you can feed them lettuce. Some people say you can feed them oranges. I don't feed citrus to any kind of arthropods, but that's just me. All right, so we can see the waterfall is dripping. You can see the drips coming down here from the moss. So we have water coming out of here, and this moss grew way more than I thought it would. It was like little strings, and now it's like a pretty solid bush, pretty solid there. And I missed that because I used to be able to watch the water as it just came down in a nice pattern and into the pond, but I wanted to put a couple pieces of moss in it, and you can see the moss has really, really grown. I don't know if I want to cut that or leave it the way it is, but to me, it's kind of very beautiful. So I've been fishing out the duckweed as much as I can. Then going here trying to get as much of this duckweed out as I can, because if you don't get all of it, before long, it is going to completely dominate the top of your water. And I don't think I'm going to be able to get all of it, which is going to be bad. I'm going to have to figure something out other than taking a net and trying to fish the duckweed out. As you see, my water level. Now, water, if you have a waterfall or something like that, even if you don't, water evaporates. But if you have a waterfall, it evaporates even faster. And that's why you have to continually, every couple of weeks, add more water to it. My fish want me to feed them, and I will in a moment. And I'll show you what I feed them, or one of the things I feed them. So let me get some of this out. And also, if you have a waterfall, every once in a while you have to clean the pipes. I've had videos where I've done that. You reach in, you unplug the pipe, and you spray air through it, and that'll clear out the pipes. But I only do it when it stops dripping. Okay, now I'm going to add a gallon of, well, this says distilled water, but I actually have tap water in it. Now, if you're going to use tap water, you have to dechlorinate the tap water. And that's what I have here is a dechlorinator that I bought at a aquarium store. Read the instructions before you use these, because you use way less of it than you might think. I want to add a little of that. You only add a little bit to a gallon. Go ahead, add, and this stuff stinks. Oh boy, does it stink. Now, what did I do at the top to that? Okay, I see it. So I've added the chlorinator. I'm going to go ahead and shake that a bit. Now, here's where the real adventure begins. You don't want to pour that straight in, because what it'll do is it'll go all the way down to the substrate and stir all of that gunk up, and I got nice clean water, so I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour it through this. It's just a thing I bought with plants in it. I'm going to pour it through that, and that way it's going to break it up. Now, normally I would just let down the grate and pour it through the grate, and it just scatters it like rain. But she's right. You know what? She's not in the way, so this is what we're going to do. Oh, I started her a little bit. Okay, so we're going to take this, and we're going to see the effect that you want. You want that effect where it's scattering and it's not going down to disturb the stuff below. So this is what you want right here. You want it to go in a little bit and not reach the bottom. And also, I'm not spooking my spider. She does not like to get wet. Although if it means that she can get her hands on a fish, she'll risk it. This Aphonopelma hense will fish. I've caught her. I haven't caught her catching my fish, but I've ended up with 2 missing fish, and I've seen her try. These fish that I got here, they've been here since she ate the other fish. So they're wise to her game, and they won't, when she started dipping her front legs in the water, they won't come close enough for her to be able to grab one of them. But like I said, you can use this to scatter the water, or you can use something like this. But you don't want to pour water straight in. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get some maintenance done. I've got the carrots here by her lair. Any cockroaches that want to come and eat is going to have to come there. A lot of them are happily feasting on the roots. I'm going to refill her water dish here. It's got a little water in it. I'm going to go ahead and get that refilled. Every couple of weeks you want to go in here and mist these plants. These are all succulents. So one of the things, if you're going to have a tarantula, I always miss this too. This back here. I got a hissing cockroach in here. Y'all probably see all that in my other videos. Go ahead and mist everything down. Yes, it's going to raise the humidity, but the Aphonopelma henses are very, very tolerant to different humidities. So the humidity, and I got a humidity gauge right here. Now you can see it's going, because what I've done, it's going off of the is that the off of the green into the blue, but it's going to go back into the blue very shortly. So we have a uh, a gauge here. I have a temperature gauge here. So if I want to check the temperature is 72.1. It usually stays about 75 in here, but because I've missed it, it's actually dropped the temperature down. Within an hour or two, the temperature should be back up, and the humidity will drop down back into the green. As you can see, I don't have a, do I have a measuring tape? I don't have, oh yeah, I do, hold on. There's been questions about how much substrate I have. She doesn't, she can dig deep, but she doesn't normally dig deep. Oh, let me get the, so we have, hold on. Trying to do this one-handed is not easy. All right, so if we go here, all the way down. Yeah. We have 9 inches of substrate. I thought I had about a foot in there, but I'm sorry. We have 9 inches of substrate. And she's only hit, oh, look. Where is it? There's a shrimp right there. So I have shrimp in here. I have fish. I have these things called scuds I got from my wife. It's pretty cool. Oh, sorry. So I got 9 inches of substrate. But her tunnel, oh yeah, look, we can look into her tunnel right here. Look at that. I don't know if you can see that or not. She's finally came and she's made a window right here. So this is as deep as she's gone around here, but it goes all the way around the aquarium and all the way to the back where she has another entrance there. There's a window that you can't see because of the plant. She's got a window here. She has a window along this wall and a window right under the waterfall. So I don't know how well she can see. They say this species can't see very well, but I'm starting to think that science doesn't understand how well they can see with those tiny eyes, because she makes windows and she'll sit in those windows looking out. She can't, her sensors, as far as I know, won't work through glass, so I don't know what the purpose is. This is new right here. She just did this. This wasn't here yesterday. So she just did this. She went in there and she made a window out. And I don't know what the purpose of those are. So if you're going to do something like this, succulents make good plants for terrariums. Or vivariums, I'm sorry, is what that is. I have a cactus, and I didn't know if that would be dangerous to her, but she crawled across the cactus yesterday. So apparently it doesn't bother her. This is a Texas species, and there is cactus out where they live. So, I guess they're good with cactus. Man, look at all that duck. Oh, I'm going to feed them. Now, what I feed them is frozen bloodworms. One moment. I wonder why humans only have 2 hands. Wouldn't make more sense if we were like insects and had 6 appendages. More like spiders and had 8. We could run with 2 legs and we could do stuff like this with 2 arms. All right, so where are y'all? Let me find my fish. You're in here somewhere. Okay, guys, come on, I'm getting ready to feed y'all. I want to tickle the water a bit. Now, they may not come to that anymore because of her. Wait. Oh, I got baby fish. Look. That's not a shrimp, that's a fish. My fish has had babies. Okay. I didn't know that. So we discovered something new. Come on, guys. I'm not a tarantula. I'm just gonna drop it in there. They'll smell it, and then they'll come and find it. So we're gonna just take this and just pop that right in there. I guess I'll let this kind of melt a bit. That's okay. They'll get it off the bottom. There we go. This is amazing. I've got baby fish, at least one baby fish. There's nothing in there that'll eat my fish, except for her. Now, with it up this high, this low, so I usually fill it all the way up, and she'll go fishing. And I'm trying not to do that now. So you can see I got at least a inch gap, so she can't hang off the edge and catch fish. So if you do have an Aphonopel McKenzie, and you want to set up something like this, be aware that they are opportunistic. They'll eat roaches, they'll eat crickets, they'll eat your fish because she has done it. They can swim, but they won't unless they have to. I mean, they're not going to drown. What I'm saying is they don't like getting wet, so they're not going to hop into the water and dive and try to catch fish or anything like that. But just be aware that you want to put a barrier or something like that to raise the level to where they can't reach in. So if you just put the aquarium in there and make it level with the dirt, they will sit there on the edge and they'll try to catch your fish. And that's one of the reasons I have this kind of barrier built around it to raise it up to the point where they can't catch fish. Unless I raise the water level all the way up to the bottom of those rocks, she will find a low spot, and there's like the little platform that she's used before to hang off of and catch fish. So just be aware that they will do that. Anyway, so that's my, I guess, monthly maintenance. No, I usually only miss this about once a month. You don't want to overwater succulents. So, but you do need to fill their water dish, because you don't want them coming here to the water trying to drink from it, because you don't want them to fall in. I guess you could climb up on these, on the moss if she gets in there, but I don't want to risk it. So I do have her a water dish right here, so she won't have to take that chance. Hold on, gotta adjust this light so it actually rises above that. All right, so I hope you guys enjoy. Oh, I gotta take that dead plant out. I got a plant back here. It was a flowering plant. One of the flowering plants has died. The other one seems like it's just gonna start blooming again once the season is in. But I might as well go ahead and take this dead plant out now. It's probably not hurting anything, but what is this? I don't know what that is but I'm gonna go ahead and, okay, pulling this up, its roots go deep. I'm gonna just break it off. I don't want to destroy her, because she's got tunnels back there, and I don't want to pull up like a whole big chunk. So I just, but I made this kind of like what she has outside. You got little acorns, snail shells. She do keep turning these over. I don't know why, but she likes kicking things over. Now, she is not as destructive as she was with her last enclosure. In the last enclosure, I had air plants, and now it's going to be very junky over here because I haven't finished cleaning it. But this was her last enclosure. If you can see it, here it is. Like I said, please forgive the mess. I've moving some stuff around. This was her last enclosure. It was like a 5-gallon container with air hose. It's actually a plastic shoebox. She would bury every air plant I put in, move stuff around and stuff like that. She doesn't do that here. Well, she will do stuff like kick this over. She'll move the snail shells around. Like, this is not where I had these. I had them over there. So she'll move little things around, but she doesn't do any major construction. She does a lot of her stuff underground. So I think if you set up the environment in a way that's kind of like what they would have outside, with the exception is that's not, you're never going to find a cockroach castle outside. But if you make one that's kind of like what she would have outside, then won't feel, or he, or whatever you got, may not feel the need to move too much stuff around. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah, I still got duckweed in there. I'm going to do that, get the rest of it on my next weekly maintenance. So I'm going to do that next week. I got a lot of other things I got to do today. But this has been fun. This is a 40-gallon aquarium. I bought this at Petco. At Petco often have sales where they have their aquariums for 50% off. There's a reason for that. They got sharp edges and they're not very refined, but they work. So this is a 40-gallon aquarium. Inside the 40-gallon aquarium, I have a 5-gallon aquarium. If you decide to go with something like that and you want to do a waterfall, you want to build a waterfall before you put the substrate in, because that's where your leaks is going. Sorry, I'm so sorry. That's where your leaks is going to be. And what you can't see is behind the waterfall. I don't think you can. I did it. Okay, maybe you can see over here. That is a plastic liner. So you can use like a pond liner. This is a plastic. This is a shelf liner right here that I use, a waterproof shelf liner. Because you're going to have to line that to keep the water that flows backwards from going into your substrate. Because what you will end up doing is you have a water pump that goes up and around and behind and through the waterfall, which causes the water to cascade. But if you have a leak going out, what it's doing is pumping your water out and pumping it into your substrate. You end up with a mess. You end up with a tank full of mud, because you will end up with 5 gallons or however you go. You can go with a 10-gallon, but you will end up with whatever this is going to end up out there, and you're going to have a lot of mud. And that happened to me, where I had to take all the substrate out, take it outside, and dry it in the sun for a couple of days, and then find the leak and fix that. So put in your aquarium, do the waterfall before you do any of the rocks or anything around it. And this waterfall is made out of slate, by the way, which we bought on Amazon. You can go to a rock quarry or rock and garden center or something like that and buy stuff too. Make it out of whatever you like, but you got to make sure that it is fish safe and it's not have any chemicals on it. But when you make your waterfall, you're going to put it on the edge of your pond, and then you have to have a support behind it. So I actually built a wireframe cylinder support that supports it on the back. And then you have to make sure that it doesn't leak. And because water flow changes, you're going to have to let this run for about 5 days. Just have your aquarium, no fish in it yet. I would wait before I even put plants or gravel or anything. Let it run for a week and then look in the bottom and see if you have any water. If you have water, then you got to fix that. And you can use liquid silicone, which is what I use. Right here, I use this. What is it? See if I can turn this around. There we go. This is aquarium silicone. And I use this to fill in any gaps and stuff like that I had, or small holes in that would let the water go backwards. You can also use it to create little paths, silicone paths for water to travel down. Okay, well, so that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next video.